Hey, this is Cupidly. Let's talk about Escape from Tarkov. Now then, the Escape from Tarkov beta has just finished its 5th wave of beta invites, meaning every person who has pre-ordered the game can now access the beta. There has been a mixed reaction from the community. There's been some issues, like objectively there's been some issues, and subjectively there's been some issues. So I think today we'll have a short objective discussion about these issues. I'm going to be trying to see each point from everyone's point of view here. I am not 100% satisfied myself, but I'm also not up in arms about this. There is obvious teething problems, as does come with a beta. I think we'll start chronologically with the whole experience. So my first point that stands out would be the purchase of the game. I went on the website, saw the pre-order was €34.99. That sounds, it's pricey, but, you know, that's fine. I go to purchase the game. On top of that €34.99, I am charged a €4.38 payment system fee and €7.88 on top, 20% VAT. That's, of course, due to Great Britain. So for my €35 game, I ended up paying just under €50. I mean, I can't blame the developers for this, but there's not many other games out there which do not advertise the price, you know, sans VAT. So it was just a little bit of a shock there to be paying basically €50 for what I thought was going to be a €35 game. I can't complain too much about the price. A price is a price. The developers can set what they want. That's fine. The next part would be the beta waves, which, I mean, I understood. I think most of the community understood how this would be working, where there would be waves of people let in depending on what edition you bought, when you purchased it. So if you bought the most expensive edition, which is Edge of Darkness, you would get instant access. I believe those people all did, so that's fine. Then you would be let in on the standard editions into the beta, that is, not into the alpha. You'd be let into the beta depending on when you purchased. The earlier you purchased, the sooner you would get into the beta, which seems fair enough. But there were some people who did buy the game. I saw this on the forums just a few times. There are a few people who purchased the game believing they're going to get instant beta access, as it does advertise beta access, but this was during the first process of letting players into the game. So that's, you can't blame the developers for that. I believe that was communicated clearly enough. I saw plenty of posts from the developers and, you know, official community members stating how the wave system would work. Okay, so I got in on the 4th wave of invites, and I've been playing, you know, since I managed to get access. There were server issues when I was first let into the beta. There was issues every time a wave begun. This is completely understandable. There was a lot of players getting in, especially on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th waves. So I know the other night when the 4th wave hit and I downloaded the game, you were unable to search for a server. There was lots of the 605 errors, I believe it were, and you couldn't find a match. So you would go to search for a wood map or a factory map and you couldn't get in. There was a way around that. You could use the group invites in the lobby. If you were part of a group and then you hit ready, you would actually be put into a search and you could find a match. It would take 5-6 minutes sometimes, but there was a way around it. If those issues are still happening every now and then you can take that as a tip, because a few people figured that out and it was very, very helpful in that regard. The next part would be Australians. I feel sorry for these guys. There was a lot of noise on the forums from Australians. I understand it. Australians, they do get the short end of the stick quite often when it comes to games and game servers. It's a region which I guess is kind of out of the way, and most developers tend to forego Australian and Oceanic servers at the start. I know the other night when the 4th wave dropped, they were entirely unable, for the most part, to even connect to the game. So they couldn't even launch the game via the launcher. And I now know that most, with a pinch of salt, most are experiencing heavy lag. I believe that is just due to the fact that there is no Australian servers currently, no Australian game servers for the game. This is something which one could speculate is going to be worked on. I mean, they can add a server location wherever they please. But for now, that's something to bear in mind if you are looking to purchase this game as an Australian player. You might experience some server issues lag, desync, that sort of thing. Now on to my biggest bugbear, which is the beta is beta discussion. There is a lot of people on the forums complaining about missing features for the game, which I can understand. The game is threadbare, I would put it, at the moment. There is 4 maps. There's the scav mode, and then you have your PMC character as well, which they're both fun. The game can be quite repetitive. The traders at the moment are limited. There is no in-game map. There is no in-game missions. There is a leveling system that's still in there, but there is plenty of options that you can find in the menus saying, not available in beta, not available in beta. Now, this I don't particularly mind. I personally didn't read into this game a huge amount before playing it. I wasn't expecting any more features than I'm going to drop into a place and shoot some people in the face. That's all I was expecting, and that's fine. People are entitled completely to expect more. That is fine also. But at the end of the day, there's a number of people on the forums saying, hey, this is a beta. A beta means it should have more than this. Okay? A beta is a completely subjective term. There is no definition for how much content anything, any software, any game must include in a beta. There is no standard. A developer can call their software a beta at any point that they like. Okay? These issues, also, we're not talking just features here, we're talking about issues in a beta. Once again, there can be as many issues as they want to. That's not really the best way to put it, but you can have as many issues as you want and still call it a beta. There is no limit for issues in a beta. A beta can be completely bug-filled, it can be completely playable, it can be unplayable. That is fine, okay? You can't blame the developers for calling it a beta and saying you've been lied to. Beta is beta. Beta means it is incomplete. At any state, if it's incomplete, it can be classed as a beta. If it's extremely incomplete, it still makes it a beta. This being said, it sounds like I'm riffing on the game a lot, which I guess I am, slightly. But my overall impression is a game that has potential. Its shooting is solid, very, very solid. The movement in the game has, I'm going to call it a clunkiness. That sounds like a negative term, but I like this. It's a limited movement, so you're not running around like a ninja. It feels weighty. That's the best way to put it. Weighty is a good way to put it. There's a lot of items in the game. The guns are all beautiful. I mean, no one can fault the guns in this game. That's the overall tone from the whole community, is the guns are incredibly detailed. There's a bugger load of attachments. You can customize them to any state that you want, which is brilliant. Now, there are some issues. There is the Terminator Scav AI, which has been complained about and which was tweaked. I have not personally run into any issues since that tweak. It's been okay for me. You do seem to get shot, and it does seem quite easy to get shot, as if they had extremely good aim. But I don't think it's incredibly unfair. If you're playing careful, which this game is about, you have got to hide, you have got to keep concealed, then you shouldn't have too many issues with this. The next issue, and this is an issue that I know many people have faced, is the general desync in the game. Shooting someone in the face so it does nothing and then dying 5 seconds later. It's not so bad now. The day after the fifth wave, everything in my recent play sessions has been fine. I haven't experienced any desync. There was desync when the 4th wave first dropped, when the servers were getting absolutely slammed by all the new players. But this does seem to be easing off now. So if that's a big concern of you, then, you know, just know that it is improving. Certainly now that there is less players all trying to hit the server at the exact same time. The next part is game balance. There is a multitude of, I'll call them Vikings, charging around the battlefield with an axe or a knife and nothing else on them. I understand why they do this. I have done it myself. It's mainly, I feel, an issue to do with standard edition stash sizes. Your stash size is not that big. You cannot store that much in there. So I don't think you can build up a big enough bank to safely feel like you can go out every single game carrying as many guns, equipment as you want. So I do find myself every so often doing one of these Viking runs and just rushing at people and trying my luck. And it works quite well, which may be an issue for some people. I have myself been walking around with a nice, AK-74, and then hear a running behind me and shoot the crap out of the guy. And I've hit him. I know I've hit him. It seems fine. But he just closed the gap in time to smash me in the face with his pointy piece of metal. That's frustrating. That can be. I'm not sure what they can do to fix that. They could lower the damage of the melee weapons, I guess, but that's it's not the greatest solution to that. It's just something to keep in mind. I mean, it's kind of fun doing it. It's just frustrating to die to it. I think just to summarize my personal opinion, I'm enjoying the game. It has some issues, but I am going to continue playing it for now. I think a lot of people are feeling the same way, that there is a lot of issues. There is definitely stuff that can be worked on, but we can all see that there is, at the core of it, a game that can be developed into something quite fun. Yeah, I'd hope you guys enjoyed this. If you could definitely comment. Let's have a discussion about this. I think it's worth opening this up a bit more, having a discussion about the current state of the game. I think that would be healthy for everyone. I know there's a big cry out right now for more developer interaction. There isn't, a monthly blog or a weekly blog talking about development status. Hopefully that's something they can work with. Community interaction. They are busy at the moment. We do have to understand that. The last 5 days with these beta waves, they're going to be rammed. They're going to be completely rammed, sorting out server issues, player issues, not to mention the refund requests that people have been talking about right now. They are slammed. I'd say give them a week till we get an official response about everything. It's understandable right now with the amount that they've had to go through to keep everything just up and running so the downtime isn't too long. I think we need to cut them a little bit of slack. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to my ramble. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe we can discuss this more on the forums, in the YouTube comments, whatever you want to do. I'll be streaming a little bit as well if anyone wants to keep an eye out on that. But thanks for watching.